Hello. Just a little Halloween spirit, I guess. Like anyone remotely cares. I have like 20 minutes to burn. I'm tired of this whole situation. Tired of it. I'm tired of being poor. Tired of the same routine over and over and over. Yeah, it's not bad out. Job hunt is going as poorly as you would think it would be going. Literally no place is wanting to hire me. Even Walmart's not apparently wanting me either. I looked into going to the warehouse job. The problem is the warehouse is 30 minutes from the bus stop. So that's out of the question. I'm not diseased whatsoever. Go fuck yourself. I have an interview with McDonald's on the 28th. No. So, the Amazon warehouse jobs are 30 minutes from the last bus stop. So even taking a bus there, it's still a 30-minute walk from the bus stop to there. Oh, suck on these nuts yourself, Nicholas. What multiple job offers to choose between? There are no job offers. There's nothing. I have an appointment tomorrow at 2 p.m. with Work One. And I don't know, maybe something will come of that. I don't know. I worked with somebody recently and got my resume down to a single page and more presentable. Rashad, it wasn't being sniped 1 in 3 games. It was being sniped continuously. Shut the fuck up. Before I ban you. It was every single game. Why do you think I stopped playing Dota? Because it was every single fucking game. It got to the point where I literally couldn't play Dota games without them being in it. You know what? Go fuck yourself. Bye. Jesus can kiss my ass. Fuck every religion. They can all suffer. What transit journey? I'm a cis male, you stupid piece of garbage. Go fuck off.
You got a gun dead.
Do I need to start banning some people? I believe in facts and logic and reason. In fact, I was having an argument earlier today with my friend who is a stern believer of Jesus, not necessarily Christianity, but a stern believer in Jesus, and he was getting majorly upset with talking about the Ark, and he's one of those crackpots that believes that the Earth is only 6,000 years old. He doesn't believe in any science whatsoever. He's like, did you know that science has recently been declaring that they found Egyptian chariots in the Red Sea? No, if you actually look it up, the person that claimed that was a crackpot lunatic that has been discredited from the archaeological community repeatedly. He has discovered everything from Noah's Ark to the Ark of the Covenant, all lies. Absolutely fucking everything that lunatic says cannot be believed. In fact, the thing he says was a chariot wheel was a piece of coral. Like, look it up. This person, Wyatt, I think his name is. Yeah, it's like Wyatt. Is completely discredited, and nobody should ever take anything he says seriously whatsoever. In fact, if you look at any of his research, calling it research is far-fetched, that there's literally disclaimers on it saying that absolutely nothing he has ever said should be taken literally. Like, take it with a grain of salt, because absolutely nothing he has said is provable. Nothing. Because, it's blurry photographs, whatever. It's obviously any kind of scientific method used to date something or categorize or basically due diligence of an archaeologist. He falls short of the mark, not even trying. Like, stuff that he says is completely untrue. Like he used some basic diving equipment and went to 200 meters below the surface. Basic equipment only goes 120 meters. So, he's lying on that right off the bat. So there's no way he found those things at a depth of 200 meters. Or maybe it was feet. Either way. 120 feet to 200 feet, regardless. The fact is that basic equipment would not allow him to get down that depth. So, straight up lying off the bat, just due to literal impossibility. Like, he has been multiple times discredited, and yet, people like this, people like my friend, believe wholeheartedly. They're like, oh look, science has proven the Bible over and over and over again. Ugh. People like him, I want to sock in the face. I really do. I just want to sock him in the face. Like, just trying to even have just any kind of discussion with him. Because he's like any kind of scientific fact I propose to him, he's like, but those are people's opinions. Those are people's opinions. So basically his backstory is that once he accepted Jesus into his life, he had like this revelation or something, and he felt this peace. And he's like, because of his experiences, he knows that everything about Jesus in the Bible must be real. Okay, and how in the hell does that discredit anything about science and like dating things? And you know what he believes dinosaurs are? Demons. He says dinosaurs are demons. What the fuck is this weird spammer? Go away. Retard. That idiot too. Why does the Bible exist? Because people made it. People made that book. And yet people point to everything about it as if it's scientific fact. Are a lot of historical accounts in the book provable? Yes, I don't doubt that. But even so, there is an old proverb, which always has been true, an old proverb, saying history is made by the victors. Whoever was the victor in a situation wrote the history to make themselves look better. How many think about American history, for example. In our history books, how many losses are recorded where it wasn't like a close, like we lost by the skin of our teeth, it was so close? How many of those are in there? Probably quite a few. How many battles where we lost absolutely, like we just got trounced out of there? How many of those battles were written down and recorded? I bet almost none of them. Because they were embarrassing. We don't really want to write down what was embarrassing. History is written by the victors, so losses and tragedies are usually just not written down unless they're like poetic and people put a spin on them. Then they're remembered. So history is usually subjective. History is only fact for as long as all facts about an event are corroborated. How many facts in the Bible are corroborated? Pretty much none. The Bible collaborates with itself and itself only. Because look at the history of any country, community, whatever that the Bible has touched. Notice how history doesn't repeat these events, like any historical context. The Bible's just weirdly telling a different story. Like Sodom and Gomorrah, for instance. If you actually found, like Sodom and Gomorrah, if you look at anything other than the Bible, were actually really good cities. They were technologically advanced and people there were decent. And yet the Bible says they were basically heathen cities that God burned down. What I think happened is that they were simply people that were above worshiping God, blindly, like everyone else was doing. And so, because of that, they were considered blasphemous, even though they weren't heathens at all. Simply because they were probably more enlightened than everyone else, living better lives and everything. Until they got hit with a meteor, unfortunately, or some other catastrophic event happened that wiped them out. Unfortunate. But people spun that saying that they got their just desserts when it was probably just nothing of the sort. Especially because if you look at the accounts of other, if you look at any historical accounts of people that were there, that aren't biblical accounts, it's a completely different story. History is made by the victors. Well, here's something interesting. I need to get to dinner. It's about time. But anyway, let me close off with something for you guys to chew on. In fact, put it down in the comments section of this video. If it's this should be listed. But anyway, you know how Christians believe about heaven and hell? And how when you die, your soul goes to heaven or hell based upon your beliefs and all that. Here's something funny. Despite the firm belief that that is what happens, there's not a single instance in the Bible outside of the rapture where that is the case. Not a single bit of the Bible says anything about ascending to heaven or hell when you die. Not one iota. Look it up. I was shocked about that too today. It was like literally a today I found out type of moment. Where I was like, I saw a comment saying that, oh yeah, there's nothing in the Bible about ascending to heaven or hell when you die. And I'm like, really? And I looked it up myself and I'm like, what the fuck? Then why do Christians firmly believe that nonsense? No, it doesn't say it in the Bible, period. It only states about rising to heaven once the rapture happens. Basically, every person, living or dead, all ascend to heaven at once during the rapture. But it doesn't state that we go to heaven or hell before then. So until the rapture happens, which we've said has happened multiple times apparently, and everyone's always wrong about that. Nutcases, every one of them. Literally selling their possessions just because they're going to get raptured, and they find out they're still here the next day, and they're like, ah shit, I guess I wasn't chosen. They're just stupid. But anyway, like I said, do some research. There is nowhere in the Bible that states you go to heaven or hell when you die. Period. It refers to it, sure, but it never explicitly says that is what's supposed to happen. In fact, everything in the Bible that says anything about when you die is that you basically are in a deep sleep. So you die and you stay here until the rapture happens when you get lifted. So that means, the whole like someone, like your loved one who's dead is watching you from heaven is a bunch of bullshit. That we've just been fed lies all these years. And I was raised Lutheran. And even I knew it was bullshit. I went to Sunday school every Sunday until we stopped bothering to go because it was too expensive to go out every Sunday. We just couldn't afford to go, so we stopped. But anyway, I gotta get going to dinner now. Bye.